Hello everyone, welcome to this tutorial on selecting a range in Google Sheets. So to do this, we're going to kind of direct our attention up here to this name box. You can kind of see it says D8, and if we look here, it's because I have this cell here, D8, highlighted. If I were to select a different one like this one, it'd be B6. We could go all the way up to A1. It's just the address of the cell that you're looking at, or you have your cursor on. So if we click and we drag this out, you can kind of see the range changes there to A1 to B11. And that's essentially the way to kind of select multiple cells. Even if it goes over more than one column, you start with the upper leftmost and go all the way to the bottom rightmost cell. And that would select your range. So let's go ahead and work with some formulas that take ranges as arguments. For example, the sum formula would be one of them. So if we go into B2, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit equals sum, hit the open parentheses, and if we look at the documentation here, it does take a range as its argument here. So I am going to actually click and drag to highlight the range. You can kind of see it's able to kind of figure that out, that it's A2 colon A11. And if I close out parentheses, hit enter, it has now calculated the sum for us. Now we can also, instead of doing that, I went ahead and just deleted it. I'm going to write it a different way. If I hit equals sum, open parenthesis, I can just type in the range. That works too, A1 colon to A11. And that would give us the same thing. I could also go in here, and I believe you can do A1 colon A, and that selects the entire column. Say, for example, if there's like a data set that's continually being updated, you can go ahead and calculate the whole entire column, and that works as well. So let's look at doing the average now. I'm just going to go ahead and put in the average formula here. Let's look at the documentation, and it does take a range too. It can take multiple ranges, but let's just do one. And I'm going to use the click and drag method, where I go over here and I click and I drag the range that I want to average and close it. And that works really well too. Not going to use the autofill. But let's go ahead, let's delete these. I want to kind of bring your attention to this Explore button down here. If we select a range and then we hit the Explore button, this is really nice because this gives us kind of what the sum would be, what the average would be, what the minimum max, what the count is. It's kind of a nice tool that Google Sheets has built in, and it's something there that you can kind of look at. It even has analysis. It's kind of a neat little tool. I just want to kind of bring that attention. If you do highlight a range, you can hit Explore, and a lot of times it might tell you what you're looking for. So let's go ahead and let's get a little bit more fancy here. I created this other tab here with another range with different values. Now, sometimes you might need to access or do operations on data that's on another tab within your Google Sheets. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do equals sum. I do the open paren, and then I can go to A, and then I can actually select the range here. And you notice that because the tab is named A, it says A exclamation point. That kind of gives the name of the tab, and then it gives the range right after it, A1 to A10. And so if we do that, that's going to give us the 30 sum average for those values on this particular tab. Now, what we could also do is we can name ranges so we don't have to remember kind of the formatting behind it. So if we go into A, I'm going to highlight these, and I'm going to go up to data here and select named ranges. And you can kind of see it already has the address of all the cells here that we want to put into our range. And I'm just going to put this, I'm going to call this one, I guess I'll just call it like Sam, just to be silly. I'm just going to call it Sam because we can reference this entire range with that particular name. Hit done. And then I'm going to go back to C, and I'm going to go ahead and highlight these values. And I'm going to add a range, and you can kind of see there's the address to them. And I'm going to call these Billy and hit done. So now I have two different data sets that I've named with those particular names. You can name it anything you want to, but now we can actually, instead of remembering kind of the format as we're going through the functions itself, you can put in equals sum, open paren, and then let's say we want to some Billy, right? Hit enter, and that works as well. Same with, average. We can do average, open paren, and let's just average the SAM values and hit enter, and that when it goes ahead and averages the SAM values. And that's especially helpful if you have like a data set that's like really big and the range is all over the place. You can just give it a name and then just reference that particular name within your formulas. It's super helpful. But anyways, guys, I hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.